everyone, this is Karchermakes. I'm Andrea, and today we are wrapping up Knitmas 2025 with some finished objects, with some WIPs, and with some advents. Before we get into all the yarny fun, let me just say this series was intended to be a weekly series. However, with the busyness of the holiday season and the fact that cold season hit us pretty hard in the past couple weeks, I just didn't wrap up a couple of the weeks. So this episode is just going to wrap everything up into one. There's going to be daily advent openings that I'll share with you later, and then we're gonna just wrap up the current advents that I have. So let's just start with the advents, and I'm gonna start with the woolen vinyl daily advent. Now, this was a 31-day advent, and I just really loved everything about it. I loved the theme. 80s music speaks to my heart. I'm an 80s baby. And I really loved the different colors and styles and dye methods that they used to create these colors. I feel like the fact that it's 31 20-gram mini skeins really opens up the possibilities of what this yarn could be used for. And I'm not quite decided yet. I'm still thinking about it. But as soon as I have a plan, you'll be the first to know. So I'll insert the footage here. I already shared in prior episodes, weeks 1 and 2, but I'll insert the footage here of me opening each day through the 30th, which was yesterday. I'm filming this on New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Then I'll come back here and we'll open up the final day and I'll show each week together and we can all marvel in its beauty. Hey everyone, it's Monday. Let's start week 3 of the woolen vinyl advent. This one is 80s music themed. And we're gonna start with day 15. Ooh, it is a really pretty, I would call this raspberry pink. Very nice, very tonal. A good complement to all of the other colors that we got going on here. And the colorway name today is Man Eater. Sweet 16. Let's see what's here. So good. So good. Bright, bright, bright pink with my favorite colors, orange and purple along with it. And this one is called Material Girl. Classic Madonna. 17. Oh, bright, fluorescent, neon orange. And I love it. So, and again, this one's gonna get stuck in my head immediately. The song is Mickey. Let's see what day 18 brings us. Look at this. I love it. Super neon yellows, pinks, which become orange, greens. So good. And the name of this one is Video Killed the Radio Star, which isn't that the truth. Day 19. This is a really pretty, I would call this an acid yellowy green maybe. I love bright colors like this. And the song name is Shout. Okay, it's day 20, less than a week until Christmas. 5 days to go until Christmas Day, and we're actually on our way to a local Christmas market thing, and then we're off to a family Christmas party. Day 20 of this advent. Ooh, we took a little turn. Much richer colors in this one. The Rest of the week was super bright, and now we're getting a little more muted. Interesting, interesting. So, and the colorway name is perfect for this color. Karma Chameleon. It's Sunday, December 21st. And normally I would be sitting down to record my Knitmas episode where I talk about all the things I'm making, some finished objects, and open these advents. But we have a lot going on in the next couple days, and we had a lot going on this weekend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open my daily advent and my weekly advent today, December 21st. This is woolen vinyl. Ooh. Very bright Kelly green. Very pretty. And the colorway is Electric Avenue. We actually have an Electric Avenue here in Pennsylvania, and every time we see the sign, we laugh and sing the song. And then next up, the weekly advent from Freckled Yarns, and this is Dream Harbor book-themed book series by Lori Gilmore. And this week's book is the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. For reference, there's the book cover that inspired this colorway. And look at this. Look how pretty this is. It is blues and pinks. Lots of speckles. And this baby blue mini along with it. So pretty. The Welcome to Dream Harbor Progress Keepers. So again, the book this week was the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. So of course, we have here a little stack of pancakes with some strawberries on them. I'm hoping you can see that. These things are so tiny, but they are so adorable. 22. Ooh, this one is greens and blues and a little bit of what looks like purple. Very nice. And this song is Destination Unknown. So it's Christmas Eve, and I just spent all day baking and making homemade marshmallows and spiced nuts for treat boxes for the family. So now we can open some advents. And apparently I forgot to open yesterday's, so we're gonna do 23 and 24 now of the woolen vinyl daily advent. So 23, it's really pretty teal, turquoise. I feel like turquoise is more on the blue side. Very pretty. And the colorway is called Forever Young. Number 24. Ooh, this one's pretty. It's a little bit toned down version of that turquoise, but it has all of these different colored speckles. Yellows, reds, purples, greens. Very pretty. And this one is called We Got the Beat. Day 25, Merry Christmas everyone. As a reminder, this is a 31-day advent, so I still got about another week to go on it. Ooh, very purpley with some blues, some bright pinks, love it. And the song today is Under Pressure. So because today is Christmas, it also starts my 12 Days of Christmas Advent from Rising Tide Fiber Company, and this one is For the Love of Dogs themed, and I love my little dogs, so it seemed perfect. So let's get into that one. So this is day one, and again, this is a 12-day Advent, and I don't recall if I got 10 gram minis or 20 gram minis, so let's find out. Okay, these are 20 gram minis, and this one is called Tug of War. Very vibrant red with some black speckling. Very nice. And as I look at this more, I'm not sure if it's black or if it's maybe a really deep blue. These sections here are giving, in real life, sort of a blue vibe, but in any case, this is really pretty. Day 26 of woolen vinyl, 80s themed music. Ooh, really deep tealy turquoise. And this one I may have to look up. This one's not ringing a bell for me. Today's song is Eyes Without a Face. And then the Rising Tide Fiber Company. This is 12 Days, and it's for the Love of Dogs themed. Ooh. Like a reddish burgundy. And this one is called Cozy Dog Bed. And I know my dogs love their beds. This is perfect. Day 27 of woolen vinyl. Ooh, very purpley today. Very, very purpley. Light purples, dark purples. Love it. And this one is called You Spin Me Right Round. And then for day 3 of Rising Tide Fiber Company, this one is for the Love of Dogs theme. It's like a tan with some oranges and some reds. And this one's called Squirrel Chase, which my 2 Yorkies love to do. Day 28, woolen vinyl. Very pretty blues, a little bit of purples. And this one's called Space Age Love Song. Rising Tide Fiber Company for the Love of Dogs. And this one's called Biscuit Break. Tan with some mauve, some mustard. Looks like a little bit of maybe navy blue sprinkles in there too. Let's open up day 29 of the woolen vinyl daily advent. Only a few days left of this one. Ooh, this is another one where it's like the color and then the little speckles layered with it. These are my favorite types of colors. And the name on this one is Delirious. Now we have day 5 of the 12 Days of Christmas from Rising Tide Fiber Company. This one's called Tail Wagon. Just a really pretty cream color with these speckles. Looks like burgundy and a little bit of mustard yellow. Really pretty. Okay, day 30. Only one more of these left for tomorrow. And then the woolen vinyl 80s themed music advent is going to be finished. And I'm kind of sad because I've really been enjoying this one. But let's see what today brings. Ooh. This is like a gray with these pops of red. This kind of mauve-y tan color. Interesting. And today's song is Hazy Shade of Winter. And this one I'm not familiar with either. I'm sure as soon as I look it up, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I know that song, but it's not ringing a bell at the moment. Day 6 of the Rising Tide Fiber Company for the Love of Dogs. This one is called Sniffing Around, and the irony is I was just outside with Marcus, my little boy, Yorkie, and he is obsessed with sniffing everything that's on the ground. It doesn't matter what it is. He just has to smell it. Okay, now we're back, and it's day 31. Again, this Advent has been so good. I've loved almost every song. There were a couple that were a little vague. There were a few that I wasn't really familiar with. There were also a few that I didn't think I was familiar with until I pulled it up on Spotify, and then I said, okay, I know this song, obviously. But let's see how this is going to round out on day 31, and then I can show you the past couple weeks all together. The finale is so good. I kind of wish this was a full skein. Look at this. It is black with all of these neon pops. I would love this as a full skein. I would love this as a sweater quantity. So, Woolen Vinyl, if you're listening, please, please. Maybe I'll send you a message about that. But this song is called Take On Me. This is such a good video. Like, the song is good, the video is really good. Now, I don't have these strung up in any sort of way, so they're going to be out of order a little bit, but I'll try to keep them together. Here is week 3, so you've already seen week 1 and 2 in prior episodes, but here is week 3. Look at all of this neon goodness. And you know I love these two, right? Pink and orange together just speaks to my heart. So there's week 3. Here's week 4, which, if you love blues and purples, I don't think anybody does it better than Woolen Vinyl. Like, look at these pretty, pretty yarns. And then here's the final week. The final week obviously only had a couple. So there they are. And what I will do is I will string these together when I'm finished here, and I'll insert a picture here of what it looks like all together so that you can kind of see it and how it progresses. And another thing I really liked about this Advent is that the colors were not a fade, they weren't a gradient, they weren't, you know, one kind of dye style. It was a mix of a little bit of everything, but it was still cohesive. And that is everything that I look for in a yarn Advent. I feel like it just lends itself to so many more projects and really opens up the possibilities for how you can use it. Next up, let's talk Freckled yarns. So this year they had quite a few Advent options. I went with the sock set option in DK weight, and my general intention is to make some sort of pullover or cardigan out of this yarn, and I think the colors are gonna work really well for something similar to like the Comfort Fig Cardi by Andrea Mallory, or maybe even the Sea Glass Cardigan by Woolen Pine. So you've already seen footage of me opening weeks 3 and 4 along with the Woolen Vinyl and the Rising Tide Fiber Company Advent footage, but let's open up the final day, week 5, and the book, again, Dream Harbor series by Lori Gilmore, and the final book that exists in the series is The Gingerbread Bakery, and that was one of my favorites in the series. Ooh, this is really, really pretty. Very pale, kind of tannish color with multiple colored speckles, and then this really pretty mauve. Do you say mauve or mauve? I don't know. I say mauve. This really pretty mini that goes with it. And then just like with the others, I will kind of put these together into a picture so that you can see all 5 of them at once. I'm really happy with this Advent, and I'm really excited to decide what it's going to be. Okay, so you've also seen me in that same footage start opening the Rising Tide Fiber Company Advent, and that was a 12-day Advent, 20-gram mini skeins For the Love of Dogs themed, and it's just so cute. I love all of the colorway names, and I can relate to all of them. I have 2 Yorkies, and you know, they just bring so much joy to my life. So let's open up day 7. And I purposely saved this one since it was 12 days. I purposely saved this one for the 12 days of Christmas, which begins on Christmas Day. So here's today's color, day 7. Greens, little pops of blue. I love speckled yarn so much. And this one is called Puppy Eyes. So here they all are together so far. I'm a little over halfway through day 7. Still have a few more to go, but I really like these, and I think these are gonna go really nicely. One of my plans is to knit the Hearthside cardigan by Wool and Pine. I think these could be really complementary colors to use with some maybe other brighter colors. Haven't decided that quite yet either, but I think these could work really well for that cardigan too. And I forgot, with the Freckled Yarn Advents, we got progress keepers each day from the Littlest Charm Co. And here's the final week for the gingerbread bakery, and they are 2 little gingerbread people. How cute are these? I love gingerbread so much. They are adorable. Really well done collab, you guys. Like, so happy with these. So that's it for Advents. Now let's talk projects. And let's start with some finished objects. I decided on Saturday the 22nd, I believe, so 3 days before Christmas, I decided I wanted to knit some Christmas gifts. I don't know why I'm like this. I have the whole year to worry about it, and it comes down to the wire, and I decided, hey, I wanna maybe knit some stuff for people. Not my best decision. So what I ended up doing, and because I've already given these as gifts, I'll insert a picture here. What I ended up doing is knitting a couple scrunchies. I had every intention of knitting more of these, but again, procrastination won. I waited to the last second, and I just simply did not have time to knit more than 2, but I did get 2 done. I gave one, the green one, to my boyfriend's daughter, and then I gave the pink one to my friend who lives in Miami, and I've always wanted to like make her something, but she lives in Miami, Florida. It is not cold there. She does not need knitted anything. So I figured the scrunchie could be a good compromise, and it's something she could still use. And the scrunchie pattern is the Soho scrunchie by Tori, and it's a free pattern. It's on Ravelry, and she offers different sizes of scrunchie from small to large, and then she also offers it in several different yarn weights, which is amazing. So any sort of leftover or scraps you can definitely use. And I used hardly nothing. I used, again, more. I have so many scraps, y'all. I used more of the Freckled yarns from my Geo Gradient shawl. This is the colorway called Fern, and then I don't have it in front of me, but I used leftovers from Legacy Fiber Arts. It was their, I think they call their sock base steel toes, but they're 75-25 sock base, and I held that together with some Legacy Fiber Arts mohair. I had made a hat out of this yarn probably 3, 4, 5 years ago, but I had so much of it left over, and I'm not someone who can wear mohair. It makes me very itchy, but for something like this, I think it works pretty well. So I don't know, maybe next year more people will get scrunchies if I start the process a little sooner. Next, for finished objects. He's finished. Look how cute he is. This is Gnandad. It was the Mystery Gnome Along for this year by Sarah Shira, and he turned out so cute. I love his little hat and these I-cord tassels. I don't even know what to call it. Tassels maybe, with little knots at the bottom. And he did have some options to add suspenders and then also a mustache that I didn't include. His beard, I think I did it a couple rows too wide, and I just didn't want to do the suspenders because they would have been hidden by his beard. And then I just liked him as is with the beard and no mustache. But he is joining Nana. Here's Nana up here. Let me grab her. I just dropped her ball of yarn and it unraveled. So here's Nana from last year. And then here's Gnandad from this year. And I think they make a cute pair. And another finished object. This might be a world's record. I have 4 finished objects this time. My Freckled Whimsy frosted winter garland socks are done. And I even finished these a couple days ahead of Christmas. And it's not for a good reason that I did that. I talked a little bit about these socks in a prior episode, and I talked about how I did the math of the stripe width, and I purposely calculated how many stripes I would need to get all 12 colors, all 24 colors in the sock, but it would take 12 colors to do the foot and then also the toe. Y'all, look, math is not my strong suit. I am the first to admit that. Like, nobody's paying me to do math for a living, thank goodness. But when I did the math, I completely neglected to include the calculation for the heel. So my stripe math was off by the width of the heel because I measure my foot from the back of the heel and I do 7 inches and then I have like 1.5 inches, 2 inches for the toe. I completely neglected this part of the math. So I ended up having to do a lot of yarn management to squeeze in all of the colors so that I could get all 24 colors in the sock. So those stripes got super tiny really quickly, and I was really disappointed the day that I finished these because I got to about here and I measured it and I was like, oh no, I'm in trouble. Now, I could have ripped all the way back. I wasn't going to do that. No scenario. I'm ripping 2 socks back all the way to the heel just to finesse. Actually, I would have had to go before the heel because I would have had to add more stripes here. No way I would have done that. Like, it's socks. It's fine. Was I disappointed in my mistake? Yes. Did I learn from it? Also, yes. But I'm still really happy with these. These colors are so pretty, and I like how they progress from these greens into blues, into purples, and then into the reds. Just really, really nice job on the dyeing of these. And one thing that I like about Freckled Whimsy's dyeing style is that there's not really jogs where the colors progress from one to the other. I'm not trying to over-criticize, but some self-striping dyers, the way they dye the stripes, it's a hard transition from one color to another. And when you do that and you're knitting in the round, it causes a jog. And I don't love that look. And I know you can finesse how you manage the yarn there and avoid the jog altogether. But in any case, I like how they dye in a way that it eliminates the jog between the colors. And I'm still happy with these. Now, another thing that I did on these, normally for DK weight socks, I do US 3 needle, 48 stitches. And what I was finding is that they did not have enough negative ease to kind of stay up on my feet, and they would be kind of slouchy. So for these, I ended up changing to a US 2 and I did 52 stitches. These fit so much better. I think I may actually go down another couple stitches because it could be slightly better in the leg, but all in all, a much better fit for the socks for me. And I think that's one of the things that I like about knitting so much is that you can make it what you want it to be. You can really change the fit to meet your specific needs. So love these so much, and I ended up doing a shadow wrap heel on these, and I think it works well, and it fits well. So there they are. My Advent socks are complete. Okay, one more finished object. My Pennsylvania hat, what I'm calling my Pennsylvania hat, is finished. And this is Kelbourne Woolen's yarn Scout in the mulberry colorway. And it's just this really deep purple leaning burgundy that I just thought was so pretty, and I only picked up one skein of it, and obviously that's really limiting for this type of yarn to only have one skein, but I think this hat turned out really well, and it is super warm, which is needed here. It's like 20 degrees and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts here, so definitely need the warmth. So the pattern for this hat, it's actually called the Mount Airy Trail Hat. And the reason why I call it my Pennsylvania hat is because the yarn company is a Pennsylvania company. Kelbourne Woolens is a Pennsylvania-based company. I bought the yarn at my local yarn store in Pennsylvania, York, Pennsylvania. They're called You and Me. Great store if you really want any type of yarn. They have commercial yarn, they have acrylic, they have wool, they have indie dyed, they have luxury indie dyed. You name it, they have it. It's amazing. But I bought it at a Pennsylvania shop, and then I used a pattern from a Pennsylvania designer called Jinx made. And all in all, I'm super happy with this. It was a really quick knit, although it took me over a month to finish it because I didn't work on it consistently. But it's this kind of waffly, broken rib texture, and then I just did a short 2x2 rib for the brim, which is what the pattern called for. And I love it. I do think it needs a pom-pom. I'm a pom-pom person, so I feel like all hats need pom-poms. Maybe I have quite a bit of this yarn left over. Maybe I'll just make a pom-pom for it. So that is finished object number 4. So let's get into some WIPs now. So this one is actually a half finished object. I'm still considering that a WIP, but I finished my first of the 2 Santa Claus Lane socks, and I just love how these turned out. This colorway knit up so nice. I love it so much. And this yarn is from the Sheepy Shire. It is merino nylon and then stellina base, and the camera never does stellina justice. Poor stellina. But I promise you, these are really sparkly in real life. And I just chose to do a vanilla sock with this one. I wanted the colorway to really shine and tell its story without being distracted by any sort of texture. So one thing that I did differently on these socks is I did a heel flap and gusset, which is, normal. But what I did was I chose the String of Lights pattern by Sock Witchery, and it has included on the heel flap this little kind of garter strip that runs down the side. Each side of the heel flap has it. And 1, I was in the mood to do something different for the heel, and 2, I'm really interested to see how that garter stitch changes the fit, or if it does change the fit of the heel. I have very high arches in my feet, so sometimes if a heel is too shallow, it doesn't really fit properly. So I wanted to experiment with a different heel, so I just chose that one. I already had the pattern. I haven't even knit the pattern yet, but I went ahead and pulled the heel out of it to try on these, and we're gonna see how those go. Now, normally I do a Christmas Eve cast on that is almost always socks. I didn't do that this year because I was busy casting on the second sock to the pair, and I haven't gotten very far at all. But I've gotten the cuff and then a little bit of the leg going here, and these, again, 64 stitches, US 1 needles. That's kind of my standard go-to pattern for vanilla socks. And there's a little Santa on the Santa Claus Lane socks. The last project I'll share with you today is my bubble cardigan. This is so neat. I love it so much. This is the Bubble Cardigan by Stephen West, And the yarn that I'm using is Freckled Yarns, their 2024 Advent, so last year's Advent. It is called Watercolor Winter, and it was very much a kind of gradient fade through the rainbow, and it is working up so nicely in this project. So the way this works is you knit each front first off of this I-cord, and then you pick up the back. So that is where I'm at right now. I've done the 2 fronts down to where Stephen has you stop, because basically that's where the sleeve split's gonna be. But I was here last time you saw it. I've since picked up the back and I'm working my way down through the back. I think I have 2 more colors to add for the back before I can split for the sleeves. But what I'm gonna do is try this on before I do that to make sure that the sleeve depth is gonna be okay. I don't want it to be too much. I'm not really nervous about it not being enough. I'm worried about it being too much. So I'm gonna try this on before I commit to joining the fronts to the back. But all in all, that's where we're at. Now, I'm hoping that this is now going to move much faster now that I'm not distracted by last minute Christmas gift knitting, Advent socks, the Gnome. Now I have some time that I can just solely dedicate to this. So hopefully you'll see a lot more progress the next time you see it. So like I mentioned, today is New Year's Eve, tomorrow New Year's Day. We're ringing in 2026, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to put 2025 to bed. This has been a crazy year for us here. It has been too much. I honestly don't know how I survived it. I think the knitting and the making has really helped me maintain my sanity through what has been a very difficult year. And I know a lot of people say that, and I hope that it brings you comfort as well. So we're not big going out on New Year's Eve, people. I would much rather stay home. So I have some dinner going. We'll have some spiked hot cocoa. We'll watch the ball drop on TV, and then we'll probably be in bed at 12:01. One thing I want to work on coming up soon is sharing how I tracked my knitting for this past year. I feel like it's been a really good tool to just help me stay accountable to the projects, what I have in progress, what I want to prioritize finishing, things I want to make, things I started that has been neglected for a little while. And I just really feel like it's helped hold me accountable to my making, but in a positive way. I also learned a lot through just the tracking process, how I set my notebook up, and I have a couple tweaks that I want to make for this year. I'm going to still reflect on that, and then I'll work on setting up my 2026 tracking, and I will absolutely share that here with you guys. If you can pull anything from that, if you can learn, if I can help inspire you to just be a better crafter, be a better maker, I'm happy to do that. I also know a lot of people are planning right now. There's the whole make 9 thing where you make a grid and you put 9 projects in there that you want to make. And from Yarn and Yarns does the 12 cast-ons of Christmas, where you cast on all the projects and then work on them throughout the year. I don't think either of those are really going to work for me. I like the idea of it, but just the way I work and the way I knit, I know that I'm not going to commit to something today for something that's going to be done in 12 months. My brain is more in the moment with that kind of stuff, and I'm very much a mood knitter. So I don't want to lock myself into any sort of stringent plans, but that said, I do have some loose plans, and there's at least 1 or 2 projects that I know I want to make, and I'm going to put all of that together. Those will come in future videos. If you enjoy hearing about what I'm making, what I want to make, across knitting, crochet, weaving, spinning, sewing, whatever crafty thing happens to cross my fancy at the time, make sure you subscribe for more. So that's all I have for you today. Happy New Year. Whatever you celebrate, I hope it's a fantastic one, and let's all hope that 2026 is not the dumpster fire that 2025 was. I'll see you next time. Happy making!